It's your boy Oisin Lehane back again, and I have a guest this evening that is a pioneer in the hip hop in London community. His name? Well, first of all I'm gonna list a couple of tracks. We have Decipher, we have Reality Track, and we have Kings, three of his best. And this man is a king. We have the one and only NDD! What's up, man? You good?
Good.
I'm good, brother. How are you, man?
Not bad.
You know what?
It's a pleasure being here, man.
Oh, mate, it's a pleasure to have you here, man. You know, I've been trying to get you, I think, was it about 3 attempts we made to get you on this show? I think you were meant to be episode 1, man. Now you're like episode 5, 6, something like that, dude.
It's been a long journey getting here, but...
There was even one time, we had you ready for the interview and everything. And what happened was, you sent me a text saying, yo, I'm going to that postcode, you texted me. And then I was like, I never texted you no postcode, man. And so this guy, he read a previous message where a postcode for my birthday, that was it, a pub we were going. So his taxi was taking him all the way there, which was the other side of London where I was, man. But we got here anyway, we made it, man. How you doing?
Finally. All right, we'll make it worth the wait.
Exactly, man.
Thanks for being patient as well.
Oh, don't be stupid, man. Don't be silly, man. Oh, don't be silly, man. Like, it was a pleasure to have you here. I was more disappointed that I couldn't get you on the show than anything else. But I've known this brother for a couple of years now, and he's a good brother, man. You living up in Camberwell now?
Yeah, since 2008. You know, wasn't happy about it because it had to move out. I was so used to living in Haygate Estate. Yeah. You know, it's Elephant and Castle, Central.
I know very well, man.
Anywhere. And then they just knocked down our estate and just scattered us out like...
Yeah, because when you... Really? Like, they just kicked everyone out?
They just moved everyone out to different places and we got them killed.
Well, they're knocking down all the towers and council estates now, isn't it, in London? Gentrification. So we've got a victim of gentrification right here, man. Right here in the house.
I wasn't happy, but, you know, if I didn't move there, maybe I might not have my kid now. So, you know, I guess things made me happy because it's in my new estate where I met my baby mother. So.
And how old is your daughter? She's pretty tall.
6 now.
She's 6? Yeah. She's pretty tall like her dad though, man.
We're clothes for 9-year-olds. I buy a 9-year-old's clothes.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If it gets any bigger, you might have to shop in the big and tall shop, man. Specialised clothing, man.
Man, it's killing me, man. But it's a blessing, you know. Being a dad is one of the best things in my life. You know, even I look forward to seeing her every day. You know, even when she does my head in, even when she's asking me 20,000 questions, like...
At the end of the day, it's all worth it, right?
Yes, I'll do it all again the next day.
Hopefully I get to be at the stage you're at one day, my man.
Yeah, man.
But I hope so, man. You never know though, man. It's all about finding the right woman. And then being financially stable to actually do that kind of shit, man.
Yeah.
Which is tough. That's the hardest bit. That's what sometimes when I look at dads, like that's one thing I don't envy is the money side of it, man. Like it's not easy, especially being a single dad. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, ladies, single dad right in the house. But anyway, we're here to talk about music, man.
Yes.
So you got a new project coming out?
Yes, I am working with Vlad and Ellis.
Well, they also work on Lehane Listens.
Yes, you know them.
Of course, I know them very well, man. I know them very, very well.
And last week we did a video, and we're hoping to do another one next week.
Tell us the name of the video.
So Seductive.
So Seductive.
Produced by my boy Lord Chemo. Been a good friend for a long time.
Lord Chemo?
Lord Chemo, yes. It's one of his old beats.
Because you were doing a lot on YouTube. You drop one at least once a week. Your videos and everything. I mean, that's how I learned to know that you was a rapper anyway, man. And you work really hard. I mean, you're dropping one every single week, man. For years as well. For years you've been doing that.
It's more of a love of hip hop because I used to be signed to a record label.
Yeah.
A French record label, Last Exit Records. I did that with Lord Chemo, Empire Dust for like 3 or 4 years. After that, we all went our separate ways, but me and Chemo still kept in touch.
Work on projects now and again.
Yeah, you know, he's got a label coming out, he's making beats for people. You know, we haven't spoken to each other as much as we used to, but, you know, we still look out for each other. And, you know, these beats are beats that he made for me. Like,
And you're still working on, but you're working on a lot of projects now. You're still working harder than ever, man.
Yes, I write every week, every day. I just love rapping.
Yeah, because I mean, your lyrics are just hard. I mean, we were just going through. We were trying to compare your flow. I think we come up with was it Cuban Links?
Cuban Links.
Well, I thought you sounded a bit like Granddaddy IU. If you remember him, had a beef with Tupac in I think '95. But this guy is someone else who loves real hip hop, and I always try and get MCs on the show that do the real hip hop, like because there's plenty of shows for people doing that bubblegum rap bullshit. Mm-hmm. We don't want to hear that shit. We want to hear real hip hop. And what do you make of today's modern rappers, man?
Well, that's what you said. I mean, I've got nothing against them. The thing is, these guys are making money. There's people out there who are buying, they're using their hard-working money, buying their music. For me, my only issue is you're calling it hip hop.
Yeah, it's not hip hop, man.
Don't try and change what hip hop is. Hip hop is not just a music genre. It's a way of life. It's a way most of them rappers were living. These people here now are trying to sugarcoat it like it's
not. And you get this like that.
ATM card.
What's that kid with the pink hair? We mentioned him earlier. He snitched on all them people and they were going to prison. But he wasn't like, he didn't grow up in like the hood or nothing like that. But only when he became a famous rapper, then he started like gangbanging and shooting people. I'm like, you're worth millions, bro. Like,
all of a sudden, he used to be a gangster back in the day. Why? Because you're signed as a rapper and they're calling you a rapper.
Yeah.
You ain't no rapper.
Bullshit, man.
Trust me.
Some of these people, like the real MCs in the 90s, late 80s, they came from nothing, man. Like they literally fought tooth and nail. They had to sell this music out of their trucks. They had to, back then, the way to make a record was you would have to fucking have two cassette recorders. You would have to play the sample of the song you want, so you'd have to wait for like Kool and the Gang to play on the radio. Then you would have to pause, start recording for the sample you wanted, and then you would go and make the next sample. But you didn't even have the music, you would have to wait for the song to play on the radio. It could take years to make a track.
Basically what people are doing now with technology, they were doing it manually.
Yeah.
More or less. That's
exactly
what it was. That's why you can appreciate where they came from. With these guys now, and you know, like I said, I've got nothing against them. But you see, when some of them preach like they've gone through this and been through that, just because...
Growing up in the 2000s and shit, it was a lot easier than growing up in the 90s, you know, like being poor back then was a lot worse, man. They had food stamps and shit, like...
Look at this, food vouchers. These guys are good back now. So I don't know where all this hard labour shit came from.
Yeah, it's like they want to be able to preach about the hard life and all that kind of thing, but they never actually did the hard part and started in the get-up, you know?
I don't get it. Just please call it something else.
Exactly, man. Exactly, it's not at all hip-hop music, man.
And that's my only issue with it.
I'm just saying, man, call it something, call it whatever they want. But if they call it mumble rap, I accept that, because at least I know if I see hip-hop advertised, hip-hop night at Peckham Right, I'm like, yeah! But then, like, I go there and they're just playing whatever, like Lil Pump and Lil Yachty. I don't want to hear that shit.
You see them award shows where they go best hip hop genre. There's not one hip hop artist on that selection.
Exactly. There should be a different. Exactly. So we can't even decipher if they're playing real shit or fake shit anymore. That's why I don't have to go to any of these clubs anymore, man. Because I don't know what they're playing, you know.
Sorry, I'm not being negative. I'm just saying.
We don't hate on you. We're not trying to be like older people trying to hate on like you young kids and stuff. We know that this is what kids want to listen to these days. But this is just
our your money in it. Just don't call it.
Exactly, man. Stay the fuck out of our genre, man.
That's what's up.
But, like, who inspired you to start rapping? Or when did you start? I don't really know much about it.
A lot of American rappers. I'm 37 now. I started rapping when I was 15, so a long time. You know, back then it was basic. I didn't know about bars and how to count bars. It just used to be what...
You just would rhyme it, like...
Yeah, literally.
Like Curtis Blow kind of rap. Yeah.
And you know, it's just like, I don't know, it's like learning how to drive, I guess.
Yeah.
You start off slow and then gradually...
You learn it and stuff.
It's a natural thing, like riding a bike. It's something you could do for weeks and maybe take 4 weeks off and still come back.
And you know, you pick up where you left off, isn't it? Like, because I find as well, like a lot of rappers as well, it takes some time to develop their actual voice, the way they want to sound. Because you listen to a lot of rappers' early work, sometimes they're like rah rah like a Dungeon Dragon, and then in the next track they're like smooth. And if you listen to a lot of early rappers' music, it's like that. Yeah. But then when it takes a rapper years to develop his voice.
Exactly, it's a process, bro. It's a process, and they take it seriously. That's why you gotta appreciate when you call some guy who's going and calling him a hip hop artist compared to someone like Nas, who you know spends so much time on his lyrics, spends so much time on what he's writing.
Yeah, the art of it. This is why it takes him 5-6 years to make an album.
Bro.
We're not saying it's like hurry the fuck up, but like when he does drop it, like he drops a good album.
It was worth the wait. Nas back in the day, he was one of the best. As a rapper, I heard some of his tracks and I'll be like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
His ideas are creative. That's what I liked about him. So as far as inspiration goes, Nas.
Yeah, when I was growing up, it was definitely Nas was the one. If you're a hip hop head, they would always say Nas was number one back then, like, you know.
Nas and DMX.
DMX's
first 3 albums, like
killed it. Well, I think the first 5 or first 6 went number one.
Yeah, they all went number one.
But yeah, the 3, that was it.
Stood out for me. It's Dark and Heavy Spot, Flesh of My Flesh.
Great Depression was that the third
then
one?
there was X. Great Depression.
Then there was X was the 4th.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, those 3 albums really inspired me to rap. I know DMX wasn't your, you know,
conventional rapper, was he, man?
Yeah, very rugged, raw.
Yeah, and so I think Slippin' is the most inspirational song I think I've ever heard in my life. Slippin', I'm falling, I can't get up.
I love that.
That one is dope.
A lot of these fellow guys could relate to that. A lot of people, us, could relate to that. You know?
Yeah, you could feel it like back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could relate to.
And it was good to see a guy like him who obviously really came from like nothing, really came from like an abusive mother, an abusive home, and being homeless to actually come and become a massive rapper. And he brought it back for New York as well, because at that time it was all West Coast, and then DMX brought it back for New York, man.
That for them, yeah. DMX, and then the Locks. And then Rough Riders, like that, I loved all of that.
Yeah.
All their albums.
I was like
biggest fan.
99 to 03, that kind of time I think was kind of, that was kind of the last like attempt to keep hip hop alive was them early 2000s, wasn't it, man?
It's a shame where it went, but I don't know. For me, that music will never die.
Nah, never, man.
To work, and I'll play it loud on my speakers because I work with a lot of youngsters. So
trying to educate them.
Looking at me like, what's this you're playing? Like, this is real.
Let me school you, man. This is real hip hop music, man.
This is hip hop, bro. This is what I listen to. You know what I mean?
Because I was just we were saying earlier about the excitement when we used to go into the record shop. Not like H&B and shit, but we would go. There would be like those independent record shops we would go into, and we would spend hours in there, and all the CDs were like £4, £5. This is all 90s, 80s hip hop, but that's what we was into. So we would just scroll through and say, shit, Mobb Deep, Jay-Z, but back then, do you know what I mean? Granddaddy IU, like we were like fighting. That's how I found out about Big Daddy Kane, about Cool G Rap, about Rakim, and then like the person at the record shop would be like, "Well, shit, you're buying Rakim? You know he's a god MC." I'm like, "I didn't know he was a god MC. I'm fucking 12, man." And then I found out, oh, Rakim is the god MC, man. And then you find out why.
Yes, bro. I'm telling you, those were the days, man.
So I gotta hear your top 5, man.
My top 5 rappers.
Well, you don't.
It's based on
right now.
them at their prime.
But
them at their prime. There would be DMX is number 1 because he was my inspiration. He got me into it. I love the way he changed his voice. There's certain tunes like "Stop Being Greedy."
Stop Being Greedy, yeah, that's a tune, man.
Fuck around and I'ma bite you and snatch the plate. I've been eating long enough now. Stop being greedy.
That inspired me because I do that as well. I have like tunes where I've changed my voice every 4 bars.
And it's good to do that as well because it keeps the audience like.
Yeah, I mean, some people, when I played some of them tracks, people were like, "Who's the other guy?" That's me, bro.
Yeah, that's you doing the other bits.
Same with DMX. Like the first time I heard "Stop Being Greedy," I was like, "Who's the other guy?"
So when you hear Biggie giving the loop on "Ready to Die," yeah, I didn't realise for years there was Biggie doing both the voices.
Yeah, it's Biggie doing DMX the Damien with
the Damien when it's Devil's Son and he does the voice to the devil.
Yeah,
like,
whole thing. Those things inspired me. So
what?
DMX number 1.
They don't have to be in order. They don't have to be in order because that makes it easier. I always find it easier.
DMX, Nas, Busta Rhymes,
good show.
Method Man, and Eminem. Eminem, I know a lot of people.
It's a black person saying Eminem, man.
Eminem is when he first came out, I couldn't stand him. Had nothing to do with his colour of his skin. The first tune I heard was "My Name Is," and I heard it on the radio. Just
feeling that.
It's like, who is this clown?
Yeah.
Like seriously, who is he?
Yeah, you can't have to.
My brother thought, "Oh, he's white, man. You're just saying that because he's white, man." Honestly, it's got nothing to do with it. He's whack. And then you heard the rest of the album. there was a tune called Just the Two of Us.
I remember that one, yeah. That's his EP, I think that album was?
Yeah, I think that was his first album.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Dr. Dre signed him then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just saw it some random guy. But I was like, yo, this guy's actually deep. And then there was more tunes on that album that I was actually feeling. I was like, raw, this guy's freaking heavy, bro.
Yeah.
And from then I just started following him. Him and his crew D12.
Yeah.
Eminem is one of the
was a
best
dope
rappers
rapper,
out there, trust me. And I'll say that without even thinking about
Yeah,
it.
he's a dope MC, and as well, like people are like, okay, he's probably more popular because he's white, and he probably allowed him to be more relevant because he's white. But that doesn't take away from the fact that he did make a lot of good tracks. He did make a lot of good albums.
Lyrically,
You can't take that away from him, man.
Nah, I rate that guy.
When people say he's not one of the greats, well, he is definitely. Yeah, it depends. Anyone can rate him anywhere, but he's still a great. You can't not say he's a great man.
He's up there, man.
Of course, man.
He opened the door for a lot of rappers out there.
Big time,
You
man.
need to remember.
And all them D12, like Proof as well. You gave the world Proof, you gave the world Royce 5'9".
He was humble. You know, this guy came from nothing. Dr. Dre found him and he's been so humble. He's never ever tried to diss Dre, disrespect the guy. Even try and mock his rapping. You know Eminem's a better rapper than Dre. Dre's a producer, man. Dre makes beats, that's what he does.
Do you think as well as a battle rapper? Do you think of all the beats he's had, would you put him as the best battle rapper ever?
Yeah, Eminem?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
I mean,
maybe KRS-One might give him a go though. That is one I'd love to see. Yeah, that is one I would love to see.
I mean, as KRS can still, he's still got flows, man. I reckon if those two battled now, it would be epic.
Because even when that would be epic, man. Even when I was young, it was still well known that KRS-One was. This is probably before Eminem got known as a battle rapper, and I'm not talking about '88 because I'm not that old, but I'm talking about even in the late '90s, early 2000s. I still even knew then that KRS-One was the best battle rapper at the time. So him versus Eminem would be dope. Maybe even throw Big Daddy Kane in there as well. Because Kane is still good.
Cannabis won, but I thought he could have done better against him.
Yeah, it was kind of a bad show.
Given him a better battle than that. I don't know.
Because I always rated him, but a lot of my friends always said, "Oh no, he's rubbish." I'm like, where did they get that Cannabis is rubbish from? But then I actually heard his reply to Eminem wasn't dope. But then Cannabis came back when he fought LL Cool J. Remember that? Second round knockout.
Personally, I think
one.
Cannabis won that, but a lot of people will say LL won that.
Jack the Reaper was the.
LL was smart. And what LL did was he took everything Cannabis said in second round knockout and flipped it on.
Yeah.
You know, something about I'll even wait for the studio audience to applaud. In LL's one, he actually had the studio audience
in there.
At the end, Cannabis says 99% of your fans wear high heels.
High heels, yeah.
And he says 99% of your fans don't use it. He just took everything Cannabis said and flipped it on it. But lyrically, for me, I think Cannabis.
What was a bit about some Ice-T to all the people he listed, all the people LL Cool J, Cool Mo D to Jay-Z. Now you wanna fuck with me?
Cannabis was lyrically better, but what LL did was smart. So I see why people say LL won.
Yeah. LL Cool J.
He was just clever about it. Personally, Cannabis.
Because LL had a few beats himself. I remember the one with Cool Mo D. At the end of Cool Mo D started battle rapping when he did that line against Busy B in the early 80s when he said, "Excuse me, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but put the bar bullshit on hold."
Now, hold on, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but put that bar bullshit on hold.
Because Busy B used to come out like bar with the bar. And with that shit, and then he was excuse me, Busy B, I don't mean to be bold, but the bar bullshit on hold. So you know the way they used to rap like back then. And then that was the first, they say that was the first ever diss in a rap ever. And that's what, because battle used to be, I do a verse and you do a verse. And then from that line, they said everything changed. In like the Latin chorus, everythting changed.
Battle used to be who has a better verse.
Yeah, you're right, bro.
You're literally insulting each other. Yeah. Literally. And that's battling, and that's what Eminem, Cannabis, I thought, Cannabis is good at. It's just Eminem just ended it.
I mean the thing is, if you're a rapper, like I would stay the fuck away from Eminem. Even Snoop Dogg said it. Like he's like, I am not putting Eminem on any of my tracks because he's only gonna do a better verse than me. Like, if Eminem's fighting one of the greats, he's gonna do a better verse.
So you may as well feature on an Eminem track.
What was the one, Renegade with Jay-Z? When he Jay-Z come out with a pretty good verse. It was a pretty dope
one verse.
And then Eminem fucked
Or
fucked
there was
whole
that
bottle,
track
man.
with 50 patiently waiting. Like 50 had 2 verses.
Yeah.
And Eminem just
Still
had
big.
1 verse.
Still killed it, man.
Just killed it. But that's the thing with rap. It's a good way to express yourself. I don't want to sound like I'm hard, but I have a short temper, I have impatience. Sometimes I get angry too easily. Rapping it out, letting it out lyrically,
Therapeutic.
it's such a good way to let it out. You don't know how therapeutic it is. Seriously. It really helps. Rather than, alright, how can I say this? I try to rap about everything I go through. Little things like if someone pisses me off, instead of cussing them, I'll get a pen and paper and start cussing them.
Do you ride like this? Is for like your bosses and shit?
Yeah.
Hope you ain't got one for me after this.
It was good, bro. It was good. We ain't had no issues.
Give me some whack, yeah, I see the beautiful motherfucker.
It was good, bro. He's cool.
Yeah.
You know, she's cool. Yeah.
Taking long releases this shit.
A certain off. They know who they are, bro. I'm not saying I'm looking to go out in the street. I've got one on Instagram where I'm dissing one of my managers. And his name is blatantly honest, so I don't want him to think that I'm calling him out or I'm trying to embarrass him. It's just, he pissed me off one time. Instead of me punching him in the face
You wrote a diss.
lyrically and just put it out.
I like that, man.
That's it, done. I haven't gone to a year where you saying, well, diss me back. I haven't done nothing like that. But that's it, I've let it out. Another manager recently pissed me off. I've recently dissed him. It's going on Instagram as well.
Do it, man.
I don't care what anyone thinks.
I love
You see the videos on Facebook and Instagram, I appreciate the likes that people give me. I love that, the support people give me. But I do it because I love rapping. And it's just the way I can hear back what I've done. I have so many rhymes in my head. I don't have studio access, so it's the best way I can visually listen to what I do. And that's all it is. If people want to like it, thank you so much for liking it. But if you don't, then...
Imagine if the manager came back then on Instagram and it turns out he can just rap. He's had like a promising that rap career, just comes out the biggest diss ever for you. And then he destroys it. Maybe, and like saying it's therapeutic. Imagine if the terrorist went out and just stabbed everyone like in London Bridge the other week. Imagine if he just got into rap and just started dissing all those people. Like imagine he just walks up, rather than going and stabbing someone, just walks up to the guy with the tusk of his. Listen man, you're looking like Elon Musk, holding that tusk. You and swerved away, and he wouldn't be. He'd still be alive.
You get, and the guy who you hate will be embarrassed. People laugh at him on road. He's done.
Oh, we got this.
Story. No one has to die. No blood needs to be shed.
This needs to be hip hop, man.
I'm telling you, this is why I love rap. You can talk about anything. Like I said earlier with Nas, he came up with so many ideas that I listen to and I'll be like, why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
He had a tune where he did it, and he started the end of the beginning.
And then he goes back.
And he had one where he was talking about his book of rhymes. So it was like he was rapping out the rhyme, and he was saying it, and he was like, oh, you could hear the paper scratching.
Yeah, and he throws it away and stuff.
And it went to the beat. It was just sick, bro. Like,
Genius,
things like that. You can be so creative.
It's like, do you ever hear the one with the Jizza, and it's like Animal Planet, I think it's called, and he talks about the evolution, how the world, like the frog, or the fish comes out of the sea and then it grows legs, and it's like, it evolves into like a mammal and then a human, and then he goes in the last verse, he goes like backwards. So like the mammal was going back in the sea and everything. It's
That's what I'm saying. It's knowledge. It's like, oh, bro.
the more intelligent you become, my reason for getting into history and getting into like general knowledge through rap, man, through hip hop.
Thank you. I mean, they're not dumb people. They're actually intelligent people.
Dude, I'm like mentioning people like Malcolm X and people like that, and I'm like, oh, who was that? I always hear the rappers talking about him, and then I actually went and learned about him and stuff like, it's crazy what hip hop can do.
It's a shame it doesn't get as much recognition.
Yeah. And it doesn't educate people anymore. I don't think it educates people.
No, because it's not what they class as hip hop is not educational. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, I think I learned more from Tupac than I learned from all the school the whole time.
Thank you. And look at him. We know Tupac was a thug. We know most of them were thugs.
But they were intelligent people, and they
were smart, mate. They were making money, mate.
They were in an environment, and this was their way to get out of that environment. They inspired people like us to go and do our own shit, and go and make our own videos. If it wasn't for people like Guru and Premier, then who else will we have to look up to? No, we can't look up to our politicians. can't look up to the celebrities that are on TV now, man. So we have people like Guru Premier, Tupac, Big, Redman, Method Man. I could go on for hours.
And then there's the hip hop is the reason people are killing each other.
Oh, that was such bullshit.
Seriously,
man.
Tupac said it himself in America, 2 of America's most wanted.
Yeah.
He's been dying for years, so how can they blame us?
And the people that said like Ice Cube, Ice-T, Cop Killer, NWA, fuck the police, people who said that was trash are the same people who said that Goodfellas was a genius film. Do you know what I mean? And it's a bit, but as white people are right to kill people on film, but rappers can't talk about it in a record. That was bullshit, man.
And the thing with NWA is they were just rapping about what they went through. Police hated them.
Yeah, they were getting harassed by the police on a daily basis.
It's not like they were making this stuff up. This stuff was actually
This was happening. Before the LA riots, this shit was happening.
You know what I'm saying? Would they rather they pick up all the black guys and start a war with the police? No.
Rodney King was just the first of millions of times. There wasn't millions of cameras around back then. Rodney King was the first time, and as soon as those police got found innocent, everything fucking changed after that. Because then black people were like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Let's just fuck them up.
Police, that's it. But they did it lyrically, verbally.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad cause I'm brown.
They didn't go out and try to bomb up police stations in Brooklyn or anything like that. It was lyrical.
And if you don't educate people, if those songs are telling people what the people in the ghetto are feeling, what they're like feeling at the moment, they feel angry with the police, they feel angry with the system. If they not express it in rap, then they're expressing it by gangbanging and shit like that.
Exactly. This is the way you express yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And these are two people expressing themselves to the realist right here, man.
I don't know how much of a good feeling it is when you let it out lyrically. I know it feels like I'm just saying it because I've done it so many times. It really helps.
Yeah.
I swear down. I know it probably sounds like all you ever talk about is angry stuff. Why are you always angry in your shit? Yeah, I even mentioned in some of my lyrics, people say I'm always angry, this, that, this. I'm honestly not. I'm a single dad. I've got a 6-year-old. I've got to be happy for her. I can't be always angry, but...
Oh, there's something there as well we need to clear the air about, man. People have been tweeting a lot, so they know that I got an interview with NDD, and they're often asking me, like, why does he have an American accent? Oh, he sounds British. I don't think you have an American accent, but I think because they think it kind of sounds a bit American-y.
No, it is. I'm not going to deny that. It's been for years, like, I've told people I've been rapping since I was 16. My inspiration, they were all American. I'm not trying to use that as an excuse, but they were all American. And for me, the twang, it just came naturally with it. So I got so used to it that, and back then it wasn't okay, but it was acceptable. No one questioned
back then,
it's on American.
It's kind of before Rodney P and Bionic. Everybody rapped.
When UK hip hop came up, it's like, alright, you have to have a standard now. If you're from UK, you got to rap.
Yeah, like that. Who says you do? You can rap any way you want, man.
I get it. UK wants to have their own slang. I just want people to understand that before that happened, this is how I was rapping. So I've tried the UK thing, and it just doesn't sound like me.
Doesn't roll as well off the top.
It doesn't sound natural, you know? I'm not trying to be fake. And I know it sounds weird, but you sound American. That means you're fake.
Yeah, fuck
Not
that,
necessarily. Not necessarily. It's how I've always been rapping. And, you know, because I'm so used to it now, I tried the UK thing, that sounds fake.
Yeah.
It sounds like me being fake.
And I like the way you rap, man. I think it's cool, man.
Listen to what's coming out. What's coming out isn't fake. The accent,
So seductive, by the way.
yeah, so seductive.
So seductive.
Yeah?
Have you got a date?
I've got a date. Next month.
Next month, I like that. Next month.
Exactly 31 days from now. Know it in your calendar. So seductive. Yeah, my boy Ellis, Vlad, Oisin,
Yeah.
the team.
We're working all together, man. Like all of us doing hip hop around here, all of us making films and everything. We all working together, man. We're all one big family, you know. And this has been Lehane Listens. You got anything to say before we wrap this up?
Just, you know, keep it real. You know,
Any advice to some rappers coming up?
just be honest with yourself. Don't think you can come out with all this violent stuff if you haven't been through it. There's nothing wrong with talking about what you went through. Just make sure it's genuine and honest. That's all I can say.
And this has been Tunde coming at you. And we got one more thing coming at you. The R. Kelly question coming at Tunde!
Okay, what the hell?
Well, okay, so R. Kelly, I always in the episode, I've always asked the guests, What did they think about R. Kelly? Did he do it or not?
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, NDD, man, but it's company policy, man. We got to ask people.
He did it.
He did it?
Sorry, he did it. I've seen the videos years ago with
Lehane, the girl pissing on the.
Yeah, and him, you know, opening her.
Shit.
Yeah, I've seen all that. So when I saw the interview of him doing the crocodile tears, saying it wasn't me, I was like, this just.
He's a monster.
You know, he's a genius. He's a genius for music, but.
A monster on the flip side, man.
He did it, man. Sorry to all you R. Kelly fans, but he did it.
Yeah, say, and he apologises as well, man. I think you're the first person that gave us a straight answer on the show, man. So thank you for that, man.
Straight, bro.
That's it, man. Don't worry, R. Kelly might be watching this in prison, bro. You can't get to him, man. Don't worry.
Don't touch my daughter, bro. I'm in few, man.
Exactly, man. Oh shit! She'll be watching that in 20 years, man. Be like, what the fuck are you saying that? She's gonna fuck you up, man. Well, this has been a great episode, man. The one and only NDD, kicking it to you live from Lehane Listens. Thank you for coming, man.
Thanks, man.
It's been an absolute pleasure, man. We're definitely gonna do this again, man.
Well,
we're gonna get you back for season 2, and I'm gonna even try and get an appearance in one of his music videos, man.
That's what's up.
What's up?
Nice.
Thanks
a lot, Pete.
One love, London. Lehane Listens, because I'm Steve.